So we out here bartering for firewood. We got us a 40 caliber round, or this is actually 9mm. We've got $9 in cash and an old cell phone. So let's see how much firewood we can get.
So for the $9 and the other stuff, we ended up getting 20 pieces of firewood, which is actually pretty good in our book. So Ron and I are in a new part of the forest that we don't usually ever go to. And when we first came off the hard road onto this, it was basically a homeless camp. There was tarps everywhere, hundreds of bottles, old tires, all kinds of stuff. And just to give you a little hint where we are, that's where we are on a forest road. And you want to be careful, since this is a national forest, you must stay on the numbered roads. Don't go creating your own trail or follow some little goat trail off to the side. There are Forestry National Park Service cops out here, as well as FWC. So I got Ron back there in his Tacoma.
Yeah, it appears that he's stuck in some sugar sand. I mean, this is a pretty steep hill with some pretty soft sand. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure lots of people here get stuck.
So a lot of you that follow my Instagram know that my truck has a problem. The same problem a lot of Toyotas have. It's the same for the FJ Cruiser, the 4Runner, and the Tacoma. I don't know about the Tundra. But when you select two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive high to four-wheel drive low, the transfer case, the front actuator, and the computer behind the glove box aren't really all communicating together. So your truck kind of gets in limbo. So you go to select a four-wheel drive mode, and it just flashes error codes on the dash, and your actuator gets stuck one way or the other. And on my truck, it happens to be stuck in two-wheel drive. So I stopped in the sand to check the maps, thinking that I could just turn on four-wheel drive and continue, and my truck had other plans. So I am stuck right now in two-wheel drive. I have to use the winch to pull us out, and then I'm gonna try to self-correct the issue so I can get in four-wheel drive, so we don't have to keep doing this every time we come to like a sand trap or I have to stop or something. So of course, as soon as I was able to move the truck forward a few inches, the actuator locked in four-wheel drive. So now the truck's in four-wheel drive. I'm gonna leave it in four-wheel drive until we leave tomorrow and get on the hard roads. That way I don't have to keep going back and forth. But a problem we had in North Carolina was it was stuck in four-wheel drive and I couldn't get it back into two-wheel drive. So Katie and I, for a few days, had to drive all around North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia, and in four-wheel drive. So we ended up having to take the front actuator off, the front differential, and jacking up the front of the truck and sliding a sleeve off the axle to unlock the front from four-wheel drive. So it was a pain in the butt, and hopefully I don't have to do that this time. There's a bunch of trees down across this path. This was like the original trail going right through here. You can tell there's a lot of trees down in the back, and like somebody made another trail to go around that. Now this one's full of trees, so we have to back up, the truck's in the trailer, and there's another little offshoot that goes around this mess. So hopefully that's clear over there. Other than that, we're just out exploring, having some fun, and trying to stay on the numbered roads as much as possible. So Ron and I already had a bear sighting, and that bear was 10 feet from the front of my truck. And it was so awesome looking. It was a pretty big bear for Florida. It seemed so fuzzy, it was so close. But it's one of those things. For all the bear sightings we've had and previous trips, plus the Florida panther that I saw, I've never had my camera on, so I'm gonna try and film a little bit more. Hopefully we'll catch something live on camera. So my truck, as you can see right here, this little green symbol right here, is now in four-wheel drive high, and I'm gonna keep it in four-wheel drive high for the rest of the trip. Like I said, it's just a Toyota issue. I thought maybe it was when I sunk the truck in the green swamp, I had all these issues, but from what I've read online, it's a Toyota Tacoma problem, as well as FJ Cruiser and 4Runner. So maybe one day I'll get to the bottom of it, but for now, it's just really, really annoying. So Ron, I just now noticed the feather you put in my truck.
Really? Did you put one of my truck up in the corner like that?
Yeah, I think you got 3 that we found, but dude, these branches are scratching the crap out of my truck.
Yeah, that's why you get something skinny.
So we got Ron reversing this entire trail. There's so many trees that are down, it's really hard to determine which trail is going the direction that we need it to go. So I'm gonna walk this way just a little bit to see if I can get the truck and trailer through there. And the only way I can kind of tell that I'm probably on the right path, or at least a forestry road, is every now and then there's some reflective little banners around the trees, but there are no signs that say trail number or US Forestry. So we're gonna use that as kind of like a beacon. And we're gonna get out right now and we're gonna just start walking a little bit. There's so many down trees here, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if there's some mini tornadoes years ago, but you can look right through here and that's the trail we need to be on. So we're gonna swing wide out here, go around this mess, connect back on the trail, and we're gonna take that all the way till it dead ends. So I don't know what kind of final destination crap Ron's getting us into, but there's so many down trees. Look at this thing right here. This tree is just teeter-tottering on that one, and we gotta drive underneath this thing. And it's only like 6 feet off the ground. So if my truck roof will clear it, the iCamper should clear it. But yeah, that's not safe at all. It's like a game of pickup sticks if you played when you were a kid. A Widowmaker up here, so if my truck clears it, you should be able to clear it with your rooftop tent, because I think my truck might be a little bit taller. So a lot of people ask why the antenna's on the front of the truck, and I mean, short answer, it's because you get better reception, there's less metal, the truck body's further away. But if you do the antenna just right, and you make it just a little bit higher than the top of your truck, you can use it to gauge. Oh man. You can use it this is so close. You can use it to gauge your roof. So the roof rack is taller than the solar panel, so we should be good to go. The iCamper's probably just got the fin for itself. Let me know if it's gonna push the iCamper down.
It appears to be good. Keep going.
So we had to get out and walk because we don't think this is a legal trail. And the mapping and the road system out here sucks. It's horrible in this part of the forest. So it looks like people were just driving across this dried out prairie. And so we actually got out, we walked all the way to the lake over there, and we think that's the lake we're allowed to camp on. There's a designated camping spot from a screenshot somebody sent us. So Ron's backing up, I gotta back up the trailer. We're going all the way around through the forest roads. So this is our problem. We think we have the right lake that we're supposed to camp on. And we have a screenshot of the US Forestry map saying it's a legal place to camp, designated camping area. But in order to get to it, it looks like all the trails going to it are illegal. So we've been out walking. The trucks are over here on the other side of this little hill over here, and trying to find a legal way to get to it and compare the screenshot to the GPS stuff that we can actually pull up on our phones with no service is kind of tricky, but it's all in fun. It's still early in the day, it's not even noon yet. So we're just gonna drive around and see if we can determine how to get to this campsite. So we think we got it all figured out right now. So the pin on the right side is where the coordinates were for the campsite that we were gonna try and camp at tonight, or at least scope out. But we're not sure if it's legal. And the one circled in the middle is a designated campsite via Forest Service maps. So this is a screenshot, so it doesn't really do me any good. I can't zoom in or zoom out or anything. So we dropped a pin where this campsite should be, and we're gonna try and navigate our way through all the down trees and closed trails to get to that campsite, because we know that one's 100% legal. So there's a pretty cool sinkhole right there. What a beautiful day. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the high so far has been 71 degrees. We're expecting mid 50s tonight, so it'd be really nice. I actually brought a winter jacket for once. So if Google tells us this is a road, does that mean it's really a road?
I think so.
I don't know if the feds will buy that. So I'll give you a hint on what part of the forest we're in. So if you type in Ocean Pond, this isn't Ocean Pond right here, but we're in that vicinity of the forest. So just north of 42, I believe, is the road. So we're about 500 yards to our destination. And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 fallen trees across the trail. So we got the trucks, and we have a route that we're gonna back up and go up and over, and maybe between where we are right here and this next intersection, we'll clear all those fallen trees right there. So this is where we're gonna camp, right hither. So we made it out to the main road. My GPS says this is National Forest Road 588. And this is a real road, but there's a pile of dirt out here like it was closed off at one time, but it's so misleading. I can see where people get frustrated when they come out here and get tickets and stuff. But there's no signs that say no motorized vehicles or anything. Here we go again. I guess this one's not horrible. But we are so close to the campsite. You can see someone try to drive over it. I don't know if they got all the way over or not, but I guess they probably did. You can see their front wheel spinning over there. Their rear two right here.
So Kevin, what happened?
She won't go in 4-wheel drive low, and therefore I cannot use the locker.
Oh. Well, that put a damper on the day.
I do have a nice winch that comes in handy though. So I got open dips in the front and rear, and I'm framed out on the log, so I kind of knew something probably was gonna happen. But again, I got a winch, it works fine, and you know, it's just good practice to use it. So we're over the log. I decided just to leave the winch remote in. Trailer's clear now. We should only have a couple hundred yards to go. And I'll be darned if we get there and there's a sign that says like no camping or something like that. I'm gonna be kind of frustrated. So for everybody wondering about my four-wheel drive issue, this is what it's doing. So I turned the truck off so we could scope out the campsite, turned it back on, and I'm getting an error code, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive mode change failure. And you can select anything you want, 2, 4 high, 4 low, and nothing changes. The transfer case doesn't move, the front actuator doesn't move, so it's stuck in the last position that it was in. So that's the dilemma. And from what I researched online, it's a Toyota problem. So it's pretty tight. So if you have a pretty wide trailer, or a trailer that's wider than your tow vehicle, you might have issues coming out here. So I'm really hoping I'm gonna catch some bears in one of these clips, because we always see bears. We've already seen bears. They were right in front of the truck by about 10 feet earlier. So Ron and I kind of gave up on that part of the forest. It just doesn't seem right. Something's kind of off about that part. It's kind of like deserted, so we don't know if it's off limits now, but all the signs that we saw and the rules and the screenshots point to it being a legal place to go. So we're actually headed out for another 30-minute drive through the forest via these hard clay roads. And Ron was just talking about his gas. We stopped and talked for a second, and he filled up and he's still got a full tank of gas, and I've already used over half a tank of gas pulling this trailer and driving in four-wheel drive out here in the sand. So we're gonna go down this trail about halfway and see if there's any former campsites or any places we can tell people had fires. And we're gonna set up camp because we need to get a fire going so we can cook the food that we bought. So we decided to set up camp right here. We're kind of on a little hill, so we have a 360-degree view of just nice grass and pine trees. And these are all healthy trees, and it's very windy today, so we don't have to worry about anything crashing down on us. So we think we made a great choice. Got quite a few different wildflowers here too, so maybe we'll see some deer, maybe some bear. Right here I have my SnugMax 60-watt collapsible solar panel. Kind of folds up into like a little laptop carry bag. It's really nice. And over there I have my Max Oak AC50 charging via the solar panel. So out of the 60-watt solar panel, we're pulling in about 47 watts right now. And on top of the Max Oak AC50, Ron is wirelessly charging his cell phone, so it works really well. It's kind of a quick charger. This thing's pretty cool, really durable. It's got some 110 outlets on the front, 120. 12-volt socket right here, some DC outlets right there. It's got 5 USB chargers right there, and it's got a nice LED light here on the back that has a different couple settings on it. So I actually use that quite a bit now. I just started using the solar panel, so I'm gonna do a review, probably coming out in the next couple days, but it's pretty nice. So both trucks did good today, minus all the sticks, and these things are scratched up. All down the side of the truck is nothing but straight scratches. Especially this one right here. So the trailer did great as well, even though I had to drag it over some dead trees that were falling and got stuck a couple times. The iCamper held up great. It's got a lot of scratches in it now, but it is what it is. It's probably a benefit of having a hard shell rooftop tent versus the soft one over there, like Ron's tent. But it held up great, and so did Ron's truck. Ron didn't get stuck today. The little 4-banger that could.
Tonight for dinner, we are going to be cooking up some pork along with some mixed vegetables, and we're gonna make like a nice little pork stew. And here's our piece of pork. Nice and fatty and juicy, and it'll absolutely come out perfect.
So Ron got the pork all seared up on the grill and got it in the pressure cooker right now. Added a whole thing of chicken broth. And we're gonna cook it for a little while on the fire, and then we're gonna add in some potatoes, some carrots, and onion, and some mushrooms. So it's about 5:45 in the afternoon. Ron and I set up camp. Thanks for enjoying the clips earlier. We got stuck a couple times. We were just screwing around in the forest. We got here pretty early in the morning before noon, and we were trying to find a camp that we saw pictures of on the internet. And we kind of determined after about 2 hours of searching for this and going in circles and backtracking and everything, we kind of determined that it was pretty illegal to camp there. So we decided to drive further north and just come to a part of the forest that we're familiar with. And we found this beautiful open area that has lots of flowers, and there's actually some cacti out here and nice pine trees, and there's no deadfall out here. There's no trees, no branches that are, you know, gonna fall on us, so it's a really nice, safe part of the forest. And now that it's open and the wind died down, we have a pretty good fire going, and hopefully we see some critters tonight. Maybe a bear. I'd like to see a bear, but definitely some deer maybe. But back here behind me, you can see Ron, Campfire Grub. He's got the Men's Grill pressure cooker going, and he's got some pork. He's got pork in there. We're gonna add some mushrooms, some carrots, onion, and potatoes in there. So we're gonna have a nice little feast tonight, and hopefully it does not attract too many animals. So it's just starting to heat up. As you can kind of hear and see, it's starting to build up pressure in there. Got a really nice bed of coals underneath it. So Ron and I have a really bad habit of setting up our rooftop tents at night in the dark, and tonight's gonna be no exception because we're probably gonna put it off until really late tonight. We got a really nice fire going right now. We got the Men's Grill pressure cooker going with some really nice pork, and it smells amazing. So after about 3 hours on the fire, there's the finished product. Potatoes, carrots, there's pork in there, onion, mushrooms, and we gotta let it cool down because it's just so hot. But it's delicious. It smells so good as soon as you pop the lid on that thing. So it's about 7:45 the next morning. It got down to about 48 degrees last night. It is really breezy. all night long you could just hear the wind just rolling through the pine trees coming across the forest. It was really cool. It also kept us awake because every time we heard something we thought it was a bear, so I woke up a few times and I'm like, is that breathing? It's gotta be a bear, it's gotta be a bear. But no, it's a beautiful day, beautiful weather, clear skies, full moon last night, it was awesome. No critters, not even any mosquitoes, no flies, no ants, nothing. So this is a really cool part of the forest, and it's probably gonna be our one of our go-to spots for right now. Looks like you're throwing a cast net.
Huh?
I said, looks like you're throwing a cast net.
That's what it feels like.
Look at that pancake.
Oh, the wind caught it.
So it's about 9:20 in the morning, and we're all loaded up. Hopefully I can put my winch remote away. Hopefully I don't need that anymore. We got a couple sandy trails left to get out to the hard, compact clay road, so we shouldn't really have any issues there. Thanks everybody for following along, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the videos.